Welcome to Dad Crossing, a podcast about animals and parenting. In today's episode, we will discuss winter in Animal Crossing and those persnickety Snowboyz. Also, where or when is that Christmas event? And speaking of Christmas, what are some of our favorite Christmas traditions? Today, I'm joined by my regular sidekick, Mr. Sean Abbott, and first-time guest to the cast, Michael Mancher, better known to those of you on Discord as Michael PJP. Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Nick. Thanks for having me on here. I've enjoyed listening to you guys over here on Dad Crossing. Not quite since the first episode, but definitely since I got the game, like early June, late May, I'd say. I just wanted to hear everybody's opinions while I was playing, and it's been great.
Yeah, sure. Community is what makes Animal Crossing, I think. So that's awesome. So you got the game. Is that when you got the game? About May or June, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I bought it just before my birthday. But I was talking about it with the wife, like, oh, can we get it? Blah blah blah.
Sure.
And the pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, this sucks. Can we get the game? Like, this would be perfect for right now.
Yeah.
And we talked back and forth about whether I would get super obsessed with it or I wouldn't play it, or and it's somewhere in the middle. Especially now, I've other games have kind of come into my life, and my work schedule has affected how much I game, but yeah,
as it always does, right?
As it always does.
Darn adulting.
And then there's that tiny drunk roommate that I have in my house, also known as my child.
Okay, I was like, no, this is a whole new. I want to know.
No, also known as my child, the one that waddles.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who it was that described children as little drunk roommates, like constantly drunk roommates.
Probably Dan. That sounds like Dan.
It's definitely a Dan thing to say.
No, I think it was on some comedy special, but that does sound like Dan. You're right.
Hey, speaking of somebody who knows about not having any time to game because of work, Mr. Sean Abbott, how you doing?
I'm all right. Cheers. Very tired this morning. As every other episode we record, last week was bad week, so I did my usual. I've been awake for 30 plus hours yesterday, so yeah, it's kind of hit me this morning.
Hanging out with
dedication.
Us. Yes, you're an amazing man.
Definitely stared at my alarm this morning as it was going off and cursed it, but yeah, I'm here. I have my coffee. I'm coming around slowly.
Yeah. So before we get too much, so speak to us. Tell us more about your drunk roommate there, Michael. Like how many kids you got? Let me know.
This is our first.
Okay.
He is 14 months old.
All right.
And he's amazing. One of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life.
That's awesome.
He's he's a little bit of a terror sometimes. He, as all early children are, he's gotten into throwing things recently. I think daycare's taught him that.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that we have this little toy remote. It's about yay big and gray with a little smiley face and the power button. And he, a few weeks ago, I put it up in the adulting channel, that he threw it right at my MacBook and just killed it for about a week. So I wasn't able to do anything on it. It would just beep at me and say, no, I'm not getting up.
I missed the beginning of that. I saw the people trying to help you figure out the deal, but I missed what had happened to it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was his fault.
Sorry.
But I don't want to paint him as this terror, but
no.
He's he's learning. He's starting to point at things that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He's at that stage. He is smiling almost all the time. He's just,
that's awesome.
Like the biggest light in my life right now. It's great. And I, unfortunately, my family is not able to hold him. We are very much, we're just following the numbers, and the numbers are increasing here. Not nearly as much as the US. We are, my province or my state in American, is at about, I think we just daily cases, we're getting about 2,000, which is not, I mean, I don't know what it is on like state by state level.
Oh, baby, Michigan just crossed 10,000 a day. We're
oh no,
it's just we don't even care anymore. It's so sad over here, down here for you.
Yeah. So yeah, we are not letting my family, mom's family, hold him right now or hang out with him. Which, Thanksgiving really sucked. Christmas is coming up this is the whole reason for this episode of the podcast. And it's just unfortunate, like these family gathering times that we can't gather, and my mom can't hold her grandson. It just sucks. Yeah. But yeah, going back to the actual child, he's just a bundle of joy, and I love him. And yeah,
very awesome. So this is like his first, I mean, not his first Christmas, but this is the first Christmas where he's going to be like somewhat interactive. Right?
Yeah. Last year he was 2 months old, and we were too exhausted to do anything.
You're like, go to bed so I can sleep.
I don't think we put up a tree. Like we went to my mom's for Christmas. We'll get into this more when we get to the Christmas traditions.
Sure.
We went and we did the presents and all that, but we didn't set anything up in our house. Mm-hmm. We were, not like this year. Like we've got a bit more. We've got our tree up. We got a new tree from my mom last year. A fake one, obviously. Sure. So
that'd be a rough real tree if you're going to put it back up.
It's just a skeleton. It's just a tree skeleton.
It's like a Charlie Brown tree at this point.
Exactly. So we got that up. We've got a few decorations and whatnot. Not full Christmas vacation yet. I'll get there. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But just starting off, like we only moved into this house last year, 18 months ago. Okay. So we'll build the arsenal of Christmas decorations.
Yeah. Start small. That's the way to do it. Hey, so before we get into our main cast, you have a cast of your own. Is that true?
That is true.
Tell us a little bit about that for listeners who may want to check you out and know what you're doing. Give us the lowdown.
So I run the old Frog and Piggy Show, which is a Muppets podcast. And I basically, it's a one-man show. Sometimes I have some friends, like I just had Dan. I had Dan about a month ago, but then my laptop decided to get demolished. So I just published that finally. And we talked about the John Cleese episode of The Muppet Show. But my first few episodes were talking about the Disney Plus show, Muppets Now. I'm hopefully, and maybe this week, I will talk about Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah,
with somebody.
That's one of my favorite Muppet films ever. The Christmas Carol, and
Christmas Carol is pretty great. It's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite version of Christmas Carol. I'm more of a Muppet Family Christmas kind of guy, personally. That's me, just because my family watched it all the time, and we constantly reference lines from that movie, like "Watch out for the icy patch" or "The dog is not the turkey is the turkey, you turkey." So yeah.
Sorry to. At work, where my old place, we used to reference our shift as the Muppets, and we used to have couple of guys, an operator and an assistant that worked together, and they were Bunsen and
Beaker.
And Beaker, yeah. That's it. And like they used to have a picture up on the back panel of their desk of them two together, like Bunsen and Beaker. Oh.
That's great. So yeah, I usually run down an episode or a movie, talk about sometimes I'll just go through it depends on what I'm doing and who and if I have somebody with me. If it's an episode, I'll just kind of run down the episode and talk about what I do and don't like. And I'll have little segments of if there's ever a morsel of news for the Muppets, because they don't really get a lot of news these days. I'll cover that, or I'll have sort of an opinion piece of like what I think should be fixed in the Muppets or written out of the canon, or what they can do to improve something. Like I did that a lot with the Muppets Now on Disney Plus, because there was a lot wrong with it, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my little corner of the internet. It's not super consistent because my life is not.
Well,
and,
darn daddy, I tell you.
It's especially difficult when I'm by myself. So I'm like, yeah, I'll skip a week. It's fine. And then, or we've got these things on the weekend, so I can. And then again, my schedule has been changing weekly, so I don't really have a consistent day to record. And it just then 2 months go by and I didn't record anything. Oh, well.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. But yeah, so where can they find you at if they want to?
So I host on Anchor, and Anchor distributes into a lot of different podcast apps. You got your Apple Music, you got your Google Podcasts, your Castbox, your on Spotify, pretty much wherever you can find a podcast, you can probably find mine. I have a Twitter account that I use occasionally, mostly for saying, "Hey, I put an episode up finally. Go check it out, please." And that is at Old Frog and Piggy, one word, capitals where you think they might be. And that's awesome. Really the only ways to get hold of me. I don't have an email or anything yet. I don't have enough people talking to me, like saying this episode sucked or this episode was good yet to justify an email. Yeah, well, that's awesome.
I love the Muppets growing up. It's something I'm trying to instill in Logan. My youngest daughter, I used to watch the one with what's his name now, where they go to the Muppet studio and they try to rescue it. The Muppets, the 2009 reboot movie with Jason Segel. That's Jason Segel. So that's my all-time favorite one.
It's a great one.
Along to that, yeah. So I introduced my youngest daughter to Muppets through that film, and that's kind of like my special connection with her is that film and the songs in that film. But I'm trying to get Logan into it, and he's just not having it at the moment. Apart from the fact he has an Elmo T-shirt, and I can kind of half do the Elmo voice. He loves that, and that's currently the only connection we've got with the Muppets. Yeah,
I mean, you could. I don't know how. I forget. It's like 6 years between your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Logan will probably get to it eventually. Like you can start him through Sesame Street, which is what you're already doing, which is great. And then eventually, you could say, hey, this character used to be on Sesame Street, because Kermit was on Sesame Street for the longest time. And say, oh, this guy was there, but then he moved to this and did his own show. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Noah
was into, what is it? Baby Muppets or
Muppet Babies, yeah.
Muppet Babies. Okay, yeah. He was into that for quite a while. He thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah. And actually he probably still would be. I think we changed from cable to streaming, and I think that's why we don't get it.
It's on, the new one is on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus. Okay, yeah, we do. Yeah.
They have it's not complete, but pretty extensive Muppet collection on there.
Cool.
You can the original Muppet Show isn't on there. Muppets Tonight, the original Muppet Babies, because there's a lot of different movies that they spliced into it that they probably wouldn't have rights for now. And I think like Muppets Take Manhattan isn't on there, but other than that, I think everything's on there.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move into what we've been playing. What do you think, Sean? Well, Sean, you have down that you've been playing absolutely nothing. So that's cool.
So, yeah.
Darn adulting.
I'm really easy this week.
But you picked up 2077. On what console did you pick up Cyberpunk 2077? I'm very interested.
I have picked it up digitally on Microsoft because I believe because I've picked it up digitally, if I then get the Series X, I can take that digital purchase across and I'll get the next gen version of it.
So is it on
when I say
go ahead.
Xbox One S is what I put it on.
All right.
When I say I picked it up, it's currently still downloading at the moment. I started it yesterday afternoon.
No.
So,
How many gigabytes is it?
59.
Gross.
Okay.
When you get a collective internet speed of 5.5 megabytes a second, it takes a long time. So I'm kind of hoping to be able to play it tonight.
That's crazy. But I do understand. When I got my Xbox Series S, I just went through the thing and made the horrible mistake of downloading this Ark Survival Mode, which I didn't even like. I played it for like 10 minutes and realized this game is dumb. I don't want it. So no offense to people who love it, but I just didn't like it. Didn't pay attention to data size whatsoever. It was 125 gigs.
No.
Yes, it was. It's like the biggest game on Game Pass that I chose, like right off the bat. And it's totally not. It's totally not for me. It seems like it would be. It's like a mature Animal Crossing, quite frankly. You're like on this island fighting dinosaurs. You got to craft all this stuff. It seems cool, but I don't know. I just wasn't really into it.
Man, why don't we have that in Animal Crossing fighting dinosaurs?
I know, right? That'd be pretty sweet.
So the other thing that's coming this week is the new Call of Duty Warzone update, which I think is today. I think that drops later on today, and that's rumored to be nearly in a full collective 200 gig.
So expect to play that next week.
Yeah, that'll be a. No,
you mean between everything that you download, like what you already have downloaded, or just the update is 200 gig?
Just the update.
That's like half of my. That's like half of my hard drive that's in the Series S right now. Of that's crazy.
It's 250 something gig in total. The game for Warzone, because obviously they've added bits to like the campaign. Then there's Warzone, and there's zombies. It's like it just all builds up. So
this is why I don't play anything other than Nintendo products. I don't have. I'm a one console person, and it's not for any faux morality like Drew. But the consoles are too expensive for me, and the games like 100 gigs or whatever it was for that stupid little game you play for 10 minutes. I'm used to Breath of the Wild, which is 17 or 18 with the DLC.
And the community's like, wow, I got 18 gigs to download. They're already like in an uproar.
That took an hour. What's going on?
It's true. Yeah, no, it was enlightening to see some of these downloads. I mean, 50 is pretty common, so I'm surprised Cyberpunk's 50. I was expecting you to say more than that.
With all the delays and updates and patches and whatnot, you'd think it'd be somewhere closer to Sean's update.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm kind of hoping that I've managed to buy it in time to get a bit of a reimbursement.
100 gigs back.
But no, the company have actually announced that because of how poorly the last gen consoles, so like the Xbox One and the Xbox One X and the One S and the PS4 are running Cyberpunk, that they're actually giving people reimbursements for their game. So,
I saw that.
which is pretty good of them to say, oh, well, really, especially a company that put a lot of money into the game and managed to make a profit on day one.
Yeah, for sure. IGN came out, and now John did point out that IGN's review is not for the One S or the PS4 Pro. It's just for the PS4 and the Xbox One. the first iteration of those consoles. The IGN gave it a 4, not just because it's just not playable on those consoles, not because the game's bad in and of itself. They gave it, I think, a 9 on the PC version, but they gave it a 4 on those consoles for that reason, which I just think is crazy.
Yeah. Dan has almost convinced me to get Stadia. So
he's almost convinced everybody to get Stadia.
Yeah.
I believe he's on commission. Honestly,
he's got a sponsorship. He's hiding something. He's like cashing checks over there from.
That's
from
why he
Google.
left Dad Crossing. He got a sponsorship deal from Google. Yeah, I'm gonna see how much Christmas money I get to see whether I actually buy 2077 on Stadia. But yeah, I'm interested in it.
Yeah. If it comes to Game Pass, I'll play it. That's what I've said, and I'll
if it comes to Switch Cloud version, I'll get it for sure.
Yeah, Justin's big prediction of that happening at the Game Awards. Well, that went over like a fart in a diving helmet, as my grandfather would say.
I like that terminology. I'm going to use that. That's what
yeah, he used to say that all the time. Well, that went over like a fart in a diving helmet. Anyways, so I've been playing Immortals Phoenix Rising.
What is that like?
Is this on your you say you have birthday week new games incoming? Is this in that? Is this in that pile?
My birthday Christmas wish list was this game, Immortals, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remake, and there was another one I can't remember. But yeah, that's one of the 3 games I asked for, so I'm kind of hoping it's good.
It is good. I really do like it. I'm gonna be honest, and this is kind of how I ended my review on this game. It's somewhere between, I don't want to say a blatant copy, but I mean the gameplay it feels almost blatant copy of Breath of the Wild, and somewhere between that and an homage to Breath of the Wild. Like I have trouble figuring out where it falls. Obviously there's a lot, the storyline is obviously Greek gods, and the voiceover is really well done. Sometimes especially in the beginning tutorial section, which is like an hour and a half long, there's a lot of voiceover while you're playing that gets a little annoying at times. But man, they have like
Dan hinted at that.
yeah, and he wasn't wrong. But if you keep playing, that weans down and becomes a lot better and more manageable. I mean, there are these vaults of Tartarus, which are pretty much shrines. I mean, it's the same kind of puzzly feel. Every once in a while, there's like a hero vault where you're fighting some big creature or something. It's got the whole just explore to find the chest, and I find myself like yesterday I spent probably 4 hours playing it, and I just went from find a chest, go to a vault, find a chest. The one thing that's kind of controversial in it, probably the thing that tears me the most, like I'm torn the most on, is they call it Farsight. So just to explain it, you're supposed to go up somewhere high, and you press down on the right stick, and it goes into this HUD mode, and you use the left stick to scan the horizon, and your controller will vibrate, and the reticule will get big, and then you're close, and you have to find out just where it is, and it'll say press ZR to reveal, and you press ZR, and it'll show you either like a chest or a vault or something that's needed to that you can go get. So it cuts down on exploring, or on like just having to go see if there's something in that patch of grove of trees or something. The problem is the scanning and finding is really annoying. And the other thing is it tells you go up high on this cliff and scan high, and you'll see all this stuff. The problem is you don't have to go up high. Like, it's really annoying. You can do it from the ground level, and you'll see stuff through mountains and through buildings. To me, it just seems broken. That part seems broken. But as much, if you can get past that, one, the game never forces you to use it. It's there more as like a help. And to be honest, I use it quite a bit because this is a long game. I mean, I'm only 2 of 6 regions in, and I've put a good amount of time into this game already. And I don't have time to go and search and see if there's anything in that grove of trees or anything. So the idea for me to be able to scan the horizon and just find out what's available close and then kind of chart my path, it's going to cut down my game time quite a bit, and I do appreciate that. I will say it's more RPG-y. There's more character growth than what you have in Zelda. I mean, you're collecting a bunch of different resources and they're not buffs. Like there is that in this too, where you can make potions for buffs, but you collect coins to do abilities. You collect Zeus Lightning for stamina. You collect ambrosia for hearts. I mean, it seems like there's more to collect, and there's no broken weapons. So if you're not a fan of broken weapons, it doesn't exist in this game. So
cool. Yeah,
I'm loving it though.
I can see both sides of the far sight. Like I've heard that's a polarizing thing in this game, but I can see both sides of it. If you're someone who doesn't have a family, you live by yourself, you have regular hours. I can see why the far side, like if you have the time to commit to exploring like you would in Breath of the Wild, I can see why the far side would be annoying. Like, oh, this is handholdy. This is for kids. I don't want this in my game. I'm a serious gamer. But if you are a dad who has limited time, maybe you work really, really crappy hours, like some of us on this podcast do, then you want to cut down on the time because, like, okay, I've got the kid's going to wake up in an hour from his nap. I got an hour to play. Or whatever reason. Like, I can see both sides of the argument. It's good to have options, in my opinion. If that's what you need to get through a game, then I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, and I was sold on it once I realized that it didn't tell me, okay, now go use Farsight. It's never, except for in the tutorial to teach me how it works, it's never so far said, go up on this cliff and use Farsight, except for the first time. Real quick, I didn't mention combat. I think the combat is more engaging and more fun in Immortals than it is in Breath of the Wild. There's a stun. There's a stun mechanism. Your dodges can make time slow down if you do it perfectly. With all of your abilities, if you can start like mastering one or two of them, you can really gain how you want to fight. I think just the mechanics of combat is more engaging, and it's more of a game of chess than it is in Zelda to me. So that's my hot take. I don't know. People might totally disagree with it.
I see. I'm now really excited.
Yeah,
I was worried at first because Dan kind of beat up on it and was like, "This annoying voice." And I've seen a couple of other reviews where people have said it's a game with a far sight and the gameplay is a bit janky and stuff like that. But no, cool.
Yeah, no,
I respect your review more than anybody else's on games.
Oh, I appreciate that. I am absolutely loving it. It's hard to tear myself away from it, quite frankly. I see, Michael, that you have been playing Age of Calamity.
I have.
I think you're the only one. Sean, have you been playing it at all? Nope. Okay, so give us your thoughts on it.
So I really enjoy how much detail went into making this feel like it's part of the Breath of the Wild canon. It's seeping into every pore of this game. Like you've got the main menu is the Sheikah Slate map. All the icons on the map are very reminiscent of like shrine icons and like the skull stickers that you'd put on to mark where a big enemy was, or like they all feel like they were made by the same, like they were designed by the same guy who put them in the original Sheikah Slate. All the sounds are the same. All the other menus, like when you press plus to pause your game, and you can go through, see what your weapon stash is like. That all looks the same, and the same sounds, and the same like text boxes, and just everything is fairly fairly the same. And like even the text on the HUD at like when you see however many kills you get, you've got like that text is similar to, you know, it's just so much detail was put into making this look like Breath of the Wild.
Sure.
And I really appreciate how much they did. And like they've got the same voice actors, and the voice acting is fantastic. I mean, I thought the voice acting in the original was great, but I know a lot of people had problems with it and it was like thought it was too wooden. But I think this nails it pretty well. And I enjoyed the first Hyrule Warriors. Like I enjoy that kind of button mashing, hero sort of wish fulfillment. Like I can do all this, and I loved Breath of the Wild. So like all of these elements are just culminating into a fun game that you don't really have to think too much about, and it just you could just go on for hours, just completing missions, completing side quests, and finding out. To an extent, it's not 100% canon. I don't think I'm at a point where something just happened. I'm like, really that happened? That doesn't sound like it should have gone down. I don't want to get into any spoilers,
right?
In case you want to actually play it, but it just that moment was like that. No, come on. It felt more like regular Hyrule Warriors than Age of Calamity, than Age of Calamity should have been.
Sure.
I hope they resolve it so that it doesn't completely retcon the story. I'm not quite finished the story, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can get a little bit sloggy with the side quests.
That's what I've heard.
Get pretty overwhelming. You don't have to, but there are rewards for completing all of the missions in a single region, and all the regions still exist and have their borders. So there's incentives to complete and 100% the game. The Koroks, when I find them, are pretty fun. Like they're all, I think they're all like kind of the same 8 or 10 methods of finding them in every big story mission. Like one's a balloon that you have to stasis and then shoot, and then there's the flower, the pinwheel. Like there's a few different ones that you would recognize from Breath of the Wild.
Sure, yeah. So how close are you to finishing it, or have you finished it?
I have not finished it.
Okay.
Which means I don't know the necessarily percentage of map completion.
Oh, that's right. You don't get that till the end. I remember somebody telling me that.
But it's hard for me to say. I don't know exactly what chapter I'm on, and I know Drew has finished. Like a bunch of people have finished it. I don't know how many chapters are in it versus how many I'm on.
Gotcha.
But I think I'm probably from where I would guess maybe half to 2/3.
Okay. All right.
From where I can see the story being going.
For those who listen to this cast on a regular basis, I did say I bought it. I did say I was going to start it this week. I have bought it. I have not started it because of Immortals coming out, and I just I got sucked into that. And if nothing comes out in December and January, then I will probably get to it after Immortals. Hopefully, maybe we'll see if that works. That's my current plan. But yeah, I mean, I hear it seems like it's a good game, but it's a game that's got to fit into kind of your style of what you like to do. So, which I guess is pretty much everything.
If you tried any of the Warriors games, excuse me, if you didn't like Hyrule Warriors, or you didn't like Fire Emblem Warriors or Dynasty Heroes or whatever it's called, then the story might kind of pull you in, but you won't really like the gameplay.
Sure.
It's very much like
and that's why I've avoided it.
Avoided it like the plague.
And that's perfectly fine. Like,
or doesn't
just because you like Breath of the Wild doesn't mean you're immediately going to love this game.
Sure.
You can insinuate from the memories, and that's unless something gets completely retconned in this story, what you see in the memories in Breath of the Wild is all you need.
Gotcha.
Just
yeah,
quickly looking at the document, there's a game, Nick, that you've been playing that I'm really excited about.
I'll get to that. So the only reason Paw Patrol is in there is because we are Dad Crossing, and for I can totally see parents out there. I mean, I don't know if they're going to listen to this cast. I was going to tweet about it too, thinking, "Oh, Paw Patrol for my kids. That's a great idea." This game, and man, I really like Outright Games, to be honest. A lot of their games they publish are really good, and this one could be good, but there is an error or there's a bug where if you press the plus button at just the wrong time, and you have to press the plus button to get 2 players into the game, but if you don't press it at just the right time, it kicks you all the way out to the home screen and closes your game. I would have never finished this game, but my kids were just totally into it, and they wanted to see the ending. And so we played through this entire game on a Sunday. It's not very long, to be honest, but we probably came back to the home screen, I would say, right around 15 times.
Wow.
Jeez.
But they were so it was always, the puppy dog eyes and, Dad, there's only 2 more levels left and we want to see what happens. And so I was like, okay. So we would go back into the game. And you had to wait for just the right moment to hit the plus button. So if you're looking for a game for your kiddos, I don't recommend this game. And I just wanted to say that just in case it's Christmas and coming up and people are like, oh, why not this? This is, they like Paw Patrol. No.
Yeah. We've got Emily Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I cannot wait to play that with her.
It's gonna be, that's cool. So that's the only reason that's on here. The reason I think you're really excited, I said last cast, because you've been talking about this Doom Eternal forever and a day, not really my style of game, but I said I would download it. And to be fair, it was yesterday, and I was like, crap, I haven't downloaded this game yet. And I said I would. Being a man of my word, I'm gonna get this done. So I downloaded it. I only have played an hour and a half. Downloaded it on my Xbox Series S on Game Pass.
So an hour and a half of gameplay. You must have died at least 12 times.
Yeah, for sure. To be honest, there's more just having to figure out where to go. I felt I don't want to say that. I felt dumb in the very beginning because I get the double jump, right? And so I'm like, well, that's not a very big jump. And there's this crate that's pretty tall. And so I'm running around, and I was like, I can't jump to the top of that. And so I'm running around this little beginning labyrinth trying to figure out where to go, not realizing that I don't have to get to the very top of it. I just have to get to the edge of it, and he'll just latch on and climb up to the rest of it. And I'm like, oh, I spent so long. To be fair, though, it did help me. I got most of the secrets in that first area, which I'd never got.
Is there at least a prompt to say that you just missed or something, press A to start climbing or whatever?
I don't do so to be fair, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are like, well, duh. I am not a first-person shooter. So, I don't do a lot of the first-person shooters. They're not my thing. So I'm sure...
The double jump and ledge grab was actually introduced in the 2016 one, and it was quite heavily, they told you about it quite a lot, so they kind of didn't do it in this one because most people had played the 2016 one first. So
yeah, you shouldn't have skipped right to the sequel. You got to play the original.
Yeah, that's on me. But yeah, I really did wander around for a while trying to figure out how the heck to get out of there. But then I did. It's just not my gameplay. For sure, not my gameplay. But it's fun to kill some zombies. And the shooting. I want more. I want more. I want more shotgun shells. I'm always running out of shotgun shells, and I need more of these things. When I die, it's normally that I'm out of shotgun shells. I'm out of gas for my chainsaw, and I'm like, just give me something. So I'm sitting there just randomly punching this guy that's eating me slowly, and then I just end up dying.
As you do.
Yeah. As it.
I mean, everybody's run out of gas on their chainsaw.
Yeah, right in the middle of a good chainsaw of a zombie. I do have a question for you though, Sean. I beat the first guy in the first area, and it was like 36% of the world is now less demonized because this one's gone. And I thought, is it a shorter game? No, so there's still a ton to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, if there's only 2 worlds like left, like how did I just do that? I've only been playing for like 40 minutes.
There's lots of you've got to go to like Mars to do something, to get something, to take to hell, to do something in hell, to get something else, to take to Earth, to then take to Mars. There's lots of
back and forth. A lot of getting your ass to Mars.
Yeah. So like Earth is just the first step of the whole gig. To then all right. So
very quickly, you finish the 2016 one. This kind of picks up from there straight away. It's like at the end of the 2016 one, you've defeated one of the icons, so you've kind of like reduced the amount of demonization on Earth from them experimenting on Mars. This one, you then try to eradicate that completely, but get duped into doing something which makes it worse. That's it.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I will play a little bit more of it. Like I said, it's just not my gameplay. Like it's just not my thing. But I do want to play. I do want to give it a little bit more go. I got to like this first. It's not even like a boss. It's just I was having trouble with this. It's like a machine type thing on four legs, and I could not figure out how to get rid of it. And I was trying to get rid of everybody else while trying to figure out how to get rid of it. And I died there a couple times, and I was like, all right, we're gonna move on.
That's what I like about the game is that you've got to be methodical with how you approach things, and you can't stand still. There's no like standing still. No, watch how something operates. You can't do that, and it's like that's what makes it so difficult. You are totally right about that, and really that is part of like the thing. When I finally got out of that first like what I guess is like a tutorial area really, and I like fell down. I was like okay, and I was like, but there's like no like the game gives you no time to breathe. Like you just drop down. I'm like okay, and I'm like oh okay, here comes more. Nope, we're not. I thought maybe I'd have a moment to just sit here, but nope, we're gonna jump right back in. And so yeah, it really does give you no time to just be like. And so, yeah, that is very true. Before we move on from hell to Animal Crossing, does anybody else have anything else to say or about what they've been playing? I do like that we keep coming back to these two games, Animal Crossing and Doom, that were released in the same week.
Yeah, I keep waiting. I keep waiting for when Doom comes to Switch. Like, well, it just came to Switch, but like I would love to see like some kind of Doom guy costume pack or something. Or it shows up on Isabel shows up for the morning announcement. She just has the helmet on.
They've brought Master Chef. Master Chef's just appeared in Fortnite, hasn't he? So that's
exactly.
Yeah.
I've been playing. It's not that big, but I've been playing a few. Like I play a good chunk of mobile games.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I dabble every so often in Fire Emblem Heroes.
Okay.
Mostly because I wanted a lot of platinum points to when those Animal Crossing things came up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like 100 points, so I needed to get to. I wanted to get the keychain that sold out. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll get the Dodo Airlines bag, and I got that. Mm-hmm. And then, I just kept playing because it like every mission gave me, or every like section of missions gave me like 1,000 coins. No, 100 coins. 100 coins.
Okay.
So it was just like, that's awesome. I'll just farm this in case I want something again.
Yeah.
And then I was playing. I like to occasionally play. Pokemon Masters.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know if either of you have played that.
I have not. No.
It's in this little made up region called the Paseo region. It's sort of like Esperanto. No, what was the world called when it was all one big continent? Does anybody remember from there? Like, no. Okay.
No.
I forget what it was called, but it sort of meant to be that. And the professor there speaks like every language. So it's sort of meant to be a multicultural thing. And there's a tournament that's going on, and the only Pokemon you bring is one Pokemon that you have a special connection with. So like Red shows up with his Charizard, Blue shows up with his Pidgeot. Professor Oak showed up at one point, starting with the Nidorino from the first fight in Pokemon Red and Blue, whereas Nidorino versus a Gengar.
Mm-hmm.
They recreate that with Oak having a Nidorino and then and Agatha having a Gengar. And then eventually he gets Mew as his partner. So like you see a lot of characters, all of gym leaders. You see a few evil team leaders, very rarely some evil team leaders, Elite Four members, a lot of different characters, and like sometimes you get a little furthering of their story from the game that they were in, or little hints from the anime. Stuff like that. It's fun. And for a while it was like there was no energy in it, so I could just play for eons and not like have to wait an hour or 7 to replay. So that was fun. And then they added energy and I lost a bit of interest.
Yeah, I'm sure. I do regret my time with Pokemon, or I'm sorry, with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. For like the year that I played it, I just stopped going in collecting the points, like the platinum points or whatever. Mm-hmm. Aren't they platinum? Are those the ones that you use?
They all translate to platinum points.
Yeah, okay. So I regret not spending. I could have a scad load of those. I don't know if they ever expire, but I just stopped doing it because I was like, I don't need these. You're not using it for anything, so I just stopped collecting them. But I could have a scad load of those points if I would have been doing that. So
yeah, and then my only other game that I really touch with any frequency is little Disney Emoji Blitz game. It's sort of like Candy Crush, but with Disney characters. And when I got it, the big incentive to get it was you can unlock these like little, they call them emojis, but they're stickers for texting, and there's a whole keyboard as you unlock characters and little like the little sticker, the castle of the Disney castle, you can use them in text messages.
Gotcha.
So
that's a neat way. That's a neat little like thing.
They've relatively recently they changed companies and they've become much more anti-consumer and like really like money grabby. So I'm a little less interested in it now.
As the mobile games do.
Yeah, a lot of like money exclusive boxes and like they have Star Wars characters, and every Star Wars character is a diamond box exclusive, and you need 200 diamonds for that, and that's the real money currency.
Right. Yeah.
You can only get diamond box exclusive characters from diamond boxes. So, and then they started requiring certain emojis for like a certain levels in an event, especially during a Star Wars event when they're only diamond emojis. You got to buy them, and it's a lottery, so you might get 20 of. It's stupid.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's one of the biggest things that I've had a criticism with, and I say that a lot on the Facebook group that's dedicated to it that I'm on.
Yeah, Pocket Camp and Loot Cookies was what really kind of started to take me out of Pocket Camp, was those. All right, speaking of Pocket Camp, speaking of Animal Crossing, let's talk about some Animal Crossing. What do you guys say?
Sounds like a plan.
Welcome to Isabel's morning announcements. What is going on in this Animal Crossing world? Snow fell from the sky starting like the 1st of December, and then I believe it was the 12th. We had snow on the ground, we had small little snowballs, and we made our first Snowboy. Why they went with Snowboy, I will never know. It just sounds wrong. But whatever. We made our first Snowboy. And we found out that Snowboys are pretty persnickety. pretty persnickety. Have you made a perfect snowboy yet, Michael?
I made my first one today.
Yes, good for you.
Yeah, and my other Snowboyz that I've made 4, I think. I missed. Yeah, I think I missed today with the Snowboy, but I made 4, and I don't think any of them one gave me a large snowflake today, and that was it. And then the other 2 are just like, they just made a comment about how snow can get cold too, or snowflakes get cold too, and that was it. I'm like, really? Not even the DIY?
Yeah.
Like, not even like, give me a regular snowflake. I'll be fine with that.
Give me something, yeah.
Give me something.
I made my first one yesterday, and then I messed up today. My head, apparently its head was a little bit too big. I wish they would at least give you a little bit more. Like, hey, they're like, oh, you just missed it. Like, is it too big? Is your head too big? Is it too small?
So I think the guy I made yesterday said so close that my head needs to be a little more proportional or something like that.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
I know. Let me tell you.
So I've seen a lot of people moaning about these Snowboyz on the Discord, and like I said, I haven't had time to play anything. So I think one of the fans that lives near me kind of tagged me in an Instagram story that like the snow falling on the ground. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then by the time I got home, I was like, I just don't have time or the energy to play. So
dog adulting.
Yeah. Why are they so difficult?
So you got to get it just right. Like the head needs to be just like 80%,
80 or 90%, I think it was.
Yeah, sure, something like that of the body. And this is not a 3. I mean, I don't know. In Michigan, we make 3-ball snowman normally. This is a 2-ball snowman. And so. Darn it. Come on now, Sean. Work with me. This is a 2-snowball snowman. How do I say this to make it a little bit better? Anyways. Okay. Focus. And so if you don't get it right, it's just like you've just missed that. You've just missed that day. And he's just like, well, thanks for making me, but I'm glad I'm alive, but I don't want to give you diddly squat nothing. Like Michael said, like, give me something. So you don't get a DIY, you don't get nothing. And there's no redos. I mean, it's Animal Crossing. Once you've done it, there ain't no way to go back unless you're going to time travel or something.
When you do make a perfect snowboy, he gives you a large snowflake, which you need for the vast majority of these DIYs, and a DIY for that is the frozen thing. So I think I got the partition, which is just a big block of ice. Or like a 4x3 or 4x5 wall of ice blocks, which I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy. Like this Frozen set, I imagine somebody, at least 10,000, tens of people are gonna make Frozen references in their in their rooms, especially with the wand and all of the bed and
I got the bed yesterday.
Yeah, and the walls and the floors all look like they belong in Frozen. 100% people are going to do that. Anyway, so if you get a perfect one, you get both, and it will give you those things every day while it's alive, and it lasts for 4 days. But if you don't get the perfect one, it might give you a large snowflake, but it won't give you a DIY.
Yeah, and so that was the other thing. It'll give you that large snowflake for 4 days. I think it lasts for 4 days.
Yes.
And then it melts into the ground. So that is one thing. As a dad, there's no way my son's making a perfect snowboy. He's 6, almost 7. He's not gonna do this. This just seems, I don't know. I just don't.
So there is do you have to roll around the snowball to build it up?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So let's back up. And so if you haven't done it, there are 2 small snowballs on the ground every day. And so you start by kicking them until they get big enough, and then you can start rolling them. And, the more you roll them in the snow, the bigger they get, just like in real life. And so at some point you're gonna roll the one on top of the other, and they just kind of falls right on top of the other one and makes the snowman, and the snowman comes to life, and then he basically tells you, yeah, I'm perfect, or nah, you didn't do it right, and so you don't get anything.
And here we go. This is the logic gamer in me going in. Do you have to press A every time to kick it?
No, you just have to push towards it.
Push towards it, right?
Yeah, you just walk into it and it kicks it.
No,
you can't run it into trees or objects or water.
So there is a I don't know if you follow this YouTuber, Nick, Mayor Mori.
Yeah.
So he has got a video on how to make the perfect snowboy every time.
Now what is his tips?
So he takes the first snowball, rolls it to the right size, like the max size, leave it, and then builds out 10 a strip of 10 paths. So it can be dirt, brick, whatever the heck you want. Because a snowball it gains mass while you're running around snow, but if you're running on path, it loses mass.
Oh, it loses? I didn't realize it loses. I guess I haven't ran mass.
Yeah. Okay. So if it needs to be 90, I think that's why it needs to be 90% of the torso mass. So it loses that 1% each path. So you roll the second one along the path, it flips on, and you need to have it like the torso like a very certain distance away from the path, like the end of the path, to get it right. I've had it like just slightly on the path. I've had it just slightly like back and a little bit further back. Like I think I've got where I need to have the torso to get the head perfect. So I'm going to hopefully see if I can do it again tomorrow. And then you can just get rid of the path and you just have a snowman there.
Sure.
So I need to do a bit more experimentation to see how consistently I can do it. But Mayor Mori says that with this method, you can do it perfect every time.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't realize it lost mass on a path, so that does make sense. And yeah, I will give that a shot. What I was trying to do was go by, I think it was Polygon, an article I read in Polygon that said the one needs to be the body needs to be up to your eyes, and the head needs to be like at your like mouth level. But man, that's really hard to you try to bring the camera down enough so you can try to like gauge it, and I'm obviously not doing a good job all the time because it didn't work. And then you do have to watch out because it's like, well, you want them to be close to each other, but not too close that it like because it just automatically. It'd be nice if it was like, do you want to throw this other ball and make a snowman or no?
Yeah, it's an automatic thing.
Yeah, but it just automatically does it. So if you roll them too close together, then it's just going to do it. But if you don't roll them close enough together, and you got a couple of rolls left, then that might throw off your perfection.
Yeah.
Or your ratios or whatever. And the fact that we have to sit here and talk about Snowboyz this much and how to make them perfect is utterly aggravating. Like I don't.
The fact that it has to be perfect is so annoying. Like maybe they're just worried that we're gonna, if you just have to make them and you get the DIY, I guess they're just worried that it will take too little time. Like, and then people like, okay, what do I do now? So they're probably artificially lengthening the.
Oh, that's exactly what they're doing.
This goes until end of February, right?
Yeah, middle of February, I think.
I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah,
something like that. But so they're artificially lengthening it so that they can stretch out more stuff and they don't have to program as much in, which is a little on the lazy side. But that.
I'm okay with them. Like, I just wish the target would be a little bit bigger. Like, I just feel like it's just so precise. I mean, like if I had to tell Noah, hey, listen, like the body needs to be less or needs to be bigger than the head. You want it, to look like, but he had some room to mess up. Then I get it, but I'm not even gonna like I'm just like, yeah, buddy, make some snowman. It's like, I'm not gonna sit here and try to like teach you how to do this because it's just gonna frustrate the junk.
Yeah, if there was like, if it just had to be visually smaller than the torso,
yeah,
then and there was like a 10% or 30% window of or margin of error for where that perfect Snowboy goes in, that I'd be way better. But with that perfect, like even 1% off on the head to torso ratio, you don't get anything, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
They definitely could have tweaked that a bit.
Yeah. So the rumor is, and this is just how life goes, Sean, for us, of course. The rumor is that Christmas event, decorated trees, ornaments shaking from trees, starts tomorrow or today in our time at the moment. And by today and tomorrow, I mean, since this isn't a live cast, I mean December 15th.
Yeah.
So, of course, we don't entirely know. I do not understand why this has taken this long to roll out. Like, I don't know. Is America the only one where Christmas starts right after? Yeah, thank you. Is America the only one where Christmas starts right after Thanksgiving? Like, why did we not have decorated trees December 1st? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Like, if the stores and resident services were decorated, boom, December 1st. So why didn't Isabel just run around all the trees that she wanted for me to plant, and just decorate them, even if it's 50% of them?
Yeah.
Why didn't she just do that? Like, maybe I'm asking too much of my resident services people, but
no, I don't believe so. I'll pay tax if that's what I got to do. I don't understand.
She's not giving me news, so I'm just going. Yeah. She should be doing something around the island.
Amen. Amen.
She just drinks. She's always whiskey.
Just always drinking. If I had to sit next to Tom Nook all day, I'd drink too.
That is not coffee in her cup, in her mug right now. You're right. It's kind of. I don't want to swear. It's kind of stupid that we're just getting the decorations now. I again, watching Mayor Mori, the drop rate isn't that small. Like, it's a pretty good drop rate for the ornaments that you need.
Sure. And
you can get,
not like those freaking acorns.
No, it's not like the acorns, and it's not like the eggs.
Yeah.
Where I think you can get like 14 from one tree, like without picking any up. And you need like 30 to 40 in the mid 30s to mid 40s of each ornament to make one of everything. So I imagine, because they've made it so easy to get all these ornaments, that it must be that can only be the reason why it's.
Yeah.
And maybe because they didn't want to inundate you with the frozen thing and the frozen.
That's what I think.
Festive items.
Yeah, that's. But if they would have started the festive items first in the beginning, then that would have been okay.
That's true.
But yeah. But I think you're right. I think that is part of it, where they're like, well, crap, we got this starting on the 12th, and now what are we? When are we going to start this? But if they would have just started on the 1st, then there would have been a good amount of time in between. I do have a story that I have to tell. I was playing Animal Crossing late one night, which I have not done in a long time. But for whatever reason, I got on this kick where I was like, you know what? I've pretty much done it all. I've done a lot of stuff. I'm going to start really focusing on Nook Miles. Why I got on this, I do not know. But I did. And I was like, I have not, because when I had my gigantic orchard, for some reason, I just wasn't in the mood to like always pick fruit. And so I just didn't do it. And I was like, there's this Nook Miles, pick a bunch of fruit. I can do this. The more fruit, the better on the island. I'll get it quicker. So I went around and chopped down all the pine trees and planted fruit trees.
No.
And then like I was like, it'll be fine. I'll just, whatever. And so then like 5 days later, the fruit finally grows. I'm like, this is going to be sweet. Right. I'm getting like 300 fruit a time. I'll be through this in like 2 weeks. then all of a sudden I like sit down at my computer, and then Nintendo drops their video of like what's coming up in December, and I'm watching it and I'm like, oh crap, those are all like cedar trees, like the evergreen trees that are decorated. So then what do? Pick up my Switch, blow away half of the trees that I just planted, and replant cedar trees so that I'm these saplings so that I'm ready for Christmas. I'm so dumb.
I'm so fortunate that in the Halloween event, I made an area like the spook. I've tried to recreate the Lost Woods using all cedar trees.
Yeah, good for you. Good news.
I've now got a big area that's all. I've got a big area that's now all dedicated to just cedar trees. So I'm hoping that'll be just the Christmas tree area, and I can adopt that as my Christmas event.
Yeah, you can turn that into like a tree maze or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I have a big section where I had my my haunted maze. And I was like, I've kept it, I leveled the haunted maze, and I was like, all right, I'm going to turn this into a tree maze at some point for Christmas. And, it's just now becoming like getting the festive stuff. I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of what I want to do necessarily. Cause unlike you were saying, unlike Halloween, we've got it in we've got the festive stuff coming in scrunched into 10 days versus the entire month to build up a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that video too, Nick, and I was like, okay, some of my hardwood trees gotta go.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of hardwood trees around my campsite, and I uprooted all those and turned them into cedar trees so that I have enough. Because I had like 4 on the side of my wife's house. I have a crap ton of hardwoods on my side. Like we have our houses up on the 3rd floor, like connected by a huge bridge. And yeah, so I long story short, I made a bunch of more cedar trees for this Christmas event, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm ready. I would really love it if once they decorate these trees, if you have the ability to move them where you'd like them. Like she just picks the ones she wants decorated, Isabel, and then you could move them from there. I will certainly try, and hopefully that's a thing. Yeah. Because I'd love to put all the decorated trees like in my little center. I naively have had an open center section of my island, like at the entrance, waiting for Christmas stuff since the 1st of December. It's just bare. There's nothing there. I took down all the Halloween stuff, and I'm like, it'll certainly come soon.
It's gotta.
Yeah, it's gotta, of course. So, but I am excited for 4 hours from now when I wake up to see what trees are decorated and figure this out. Hey, I hear that you and me have done something similar. Did you finish Bugs? Is that what you finished?
Yeah, I finished Bugs.
Me too.
Bug complete.
Yeah. Have you finished Fish yet? Or no?
No,
okay.
I mean, I'm close-ish.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have my phone on me. I think I have got, last time I looked at ACNH guide, I think there's 80 in the Critterpedia, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think I'm 60 or so.
Okay.
So I'm 3/4 complete.
Sure.
But I did not put nearly as much effort into Fish at like the 6 months that I've had it as I did Bugs. Probably because like I didn't really bother with bait for until last month. So it was just easier to get Bugs. Sure. Because you don't need bait for that.
Yeah. Congrats on that. That's not easy to do. So
no, yeah, I feel like I think going into October, I was watching another Mayor Mori video, and he rounds out, like he tells you what's leaving every month. So he's like, oh yeah, so these 10 bugs are going away. These 6 fish, and I was like, oh, 10 bugs. Well, I've just got, I got 1 bug out of that to do. So I got that. And then so like, oh, I'm not that far off from finishing bugs. So like, okay, so I'll get that. Make sure I have everything on the list for the next month. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and then almost end of November, that freaking walking stick. Oh my God, that walking stick was annoying.
Yeah, you were posting about that a lot. I'm glad you got it.
I was so worried about not getting that walking stick and not being complete, and then having to wait probably another 6 months.
Yeah, that's tough when you just to think about it. Like, 1 bug is going to prevent me from getting this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I've got the golden net, and I proudly wear it, or proudly hold it, getting all my snowflakes. Nice.
Good for you. Yeah, I was in your same camp too when you posted like, "Where's my recipe?" When I finished fish first. I did that like at the first of this month. I just needed the string fish and the pond smelt. And so I got those, and I was like done. And I like got the congratulations message, got the congratulations from Blathers, and then I was like, I was the same way. I was like, "Where's my recipe?" And then it shows up from the Faraway Museum.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like that they named it the Faraway Museum. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. So yeah, that was good. So yeah, I knew exactly. You beat me to bugs. Because I was so interested in the Snowboy thing, I wasn't waiting long enough to actually wait for a dung beetle. So the moment you did, I was like, all right, I gotta do this too now. I gotta wait for this dung beetle to get this done. Well, I knew that was my last one.
I think it was December 1st, or maybe it was like, no, I think the 29th or something of November, I got my first my first snowfall, and I was like, where is it?
Yeah, I remember you posted. I was like, I think we got to wait for snow on the ground, and you're like,
yeah. But it's good. At least they show up pretty frequently. Like
they do. Yeah, they do. Very much so.
But I think I did December 11th, so 11th or 12th or whatever it was. I just quickly built my Snowboy, and I was like, oh crap, I'd scared away the dung beetle, and then I did it, and like, oh man, they gotta wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so yeah, a little apprehensive, or not apprehensive, that's not the right word. I really wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
Wanted to get it over with.
I totally get you. No, was it you that was talking about the dung? You had a full-size snowball, and the dung beetle rolled it into the river. Was that Chad?
No, that wasn't me. That might have been Chad.
Yeah.
But I did catch a dung beetle rolling my full-size snowball at one point.
Yeah, I have not seen this happen. I didn't know it was a thing until I guess I think it was Chad that said it, and that's just so funny to me. So you gotta like when you get your first one done, you gotta like while you're doing the other one, you kind of gotta guard it so that some dung beetle doesn't roll it into the water or something.
Yeah, luckily I was afraid that the snowballs were gonna be like on opposite ends of the island, but luckily they really only pick like open areas for you. So they're always close together, so you don't have to like do too big a job guarding them.
Yeah, that is helpful. I appreciate
I was worried that I had to like traverse the island getting them there. Apparently they do roll down, they roll across bridges, they roll down slopes, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm coming after Gulliver. I need 3 or 4 more, I believe.
The only tool you've got left to get is the golden shovel.
That's correct. And Gulliver, I just need him to keep washing up on my shore. I think 3 or 4 more times, and I will be there. Nice. I crossed the 20, helping Gulliver 20 times. I want to say in the middle of November, beginning of November. So I'm pretty sure I'm close.
I have no idea what I'm
at. I will say this: I had my first technical issue with Animal Crossing. Yeah, I was a little nervous. I started to play it, and it would just like cancel out every once in a while. It would just close out, and I was like, all right. and then it just started to happen more and more frequently. And then finally I was like, all right, I got to look this up. So I looked up the error, and it was corrupt data, actually not on the save file, but on the game file itself. So I had to uninstall Animal Crossing and reinstall it, and so far it seems to be working just fine now. So that was good. I will say, I know Ebucel was like, so you're gonna have to do those, or Chad was like, we'll help you do your island or get it back if it doesn't. And I was like, no, I had already made the decision. Like, if this finishes and my island is somehow gone and the backup doesn't work, I'm just gonna tell Sean I'm walking away. Like, my time with New Horizons is done, and whatever we can turn this just into a dad crossing, or you could be the one to talk about Animal Crossing, because I am not no way am I going back into Animal Crossing to do it again.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, when you get to around 1,000 hours of gameplay, the game breaks.
Yeah, that must be. Yeah, it's like, do it again.
You beat it.
Yeah.
Now New Game Plus.
Yeah, so I was ready to call it good if that happened, but luckily it did not, and so we're still into it. So
yeah, well, I saw that a little bit of that journey, but I'm glad that you did not have to restart your island, because that I remember when I got I didn't get, because I didn't buy the Switch day one. But I really wanted to play Breath of the Wild. I got the Wii U version, and there was some big glitch of, if you exited the game from the start menu, like you pressed the home button or whatever, and it went back to the, but from maybe if you quit the game, but you hadn't gone into the actual game yet, like you were still at the start menu, it would corrupt data. So I did this after I beat Ganon, did all 4 Divine Beasts. I wasn't nearly close to 100%, but I had done everything. I had done most of the I think the first part of the DLC, and then it corrupts my data. And it corrupts like the stick of my USB stick that I had all my stuff on. So my Smash Bros got deleted.
Oh man, everything.
My Splatoon got deleted. Like everything got deleted. Which I'm trying to think of whether that did it. I think I removed the USB stick got removed as well a few times. Like, kind of got jiggled. So that might have done it as well. But either way, that happened, and I was just like, nope, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I knew immediately. I was like, I'm not doing this journey again. This has been a lot of fun, and I'll just call this my way to say I'm done.
Yeah.
So with that said, Sean, why don't we talk about dad life a little bit?
Right, and welcome to Dad Corner. In this episode, we're going to be talking about our Christmas plans, traditions, and stresses. One of which, in between each segment, we kind of have a little bit of a break and we discuss what we're going to talk about in the next segment. And I think this falls under a Christmas tradition and a Christmas stress, but apparently you've got a small little person that might have appeared in your household that's causing all kinds of havoc, Nick.
I do. We have an elf whom sits on many different shelves. Crispy and Bonbon is what our kids named them. They've been around for a while. And so let me tell you, Crispy and Bonbon, they like to go in a lot of different places, and it's very hard for the parents to keep up on where Crispy and Bonbon are. But the kids, let me tell you, the kids have trouble. Like, I mean, if Crispy and Bonbon don't move one way or another, the kids get very upset, and they start wondering why and what's gone wrong, and have they done something wrong? And then listen, the elf on the shelf is a wonderful thing, and I'm so glad that Santa sent them, but sometimes there's just a little bit of work involved, and they're more stress than tradition, maybe. I'm not certain what category I might put them in.
Maybe they just have a favorite spot.
Yeah. I see a lot of other parents that some seem to have really good elves. So like Santa's been really kind to the parents, and they've sent them like really helpful and intelligent elves that are helping their kids learn and stuff like that. But then I've seen other parents that are displaying the behavior of these elves, and they are little monkeys.
Yeah, little doom slayers is what they are.
Yeah, chucking flour all over the floor, marshmallows, tearing up.
Some of these guys, some of these guys are not there because they are at the top of the class. They're there as punishment.
Bad elves.
Yeah, I don't know, but our elves are nice. I will say that we don't have flour on the floor or anything like that. I think my wife has taught them well. Ask Santa for the good elves, I'm guessing. That's the only thing I can think.
And if they've been in the house for a few years, you're kind of getting used to how you are and what you guys tolerate. So
yeah,
that must be good. At least they listen.
That's true. Yeah, it's just making sure those elves move. That's the problem. Making sure those elves move. That sucker.
They got to exercise.
Yeah, right?
They can't just stay in one place. They're going to get, a bowl full of jelly like Santa.
Yeah, and the thing about elves is they can't move too early, because if they move too early, then maybe a kiddo wakes up and sees them. But they can't move too late either, because maybe a kiddo wakes up and sees them. I mean, I tell you. Anyways, this is a Christmas stress. I've realized this. It's not a tradition. It goes in the stress category.
Yeah,
we're all involved, including Santa. Definitely Santa.
Yeah. So the elves haven't arrived yet here, which I'm quite fortunate about because I don't like mess. So,
well, good for you. And so, Michael, do you surmise that you will have elves on your shelf? Elf on your shelf?
Yeah, I imagine an elf will come at some point. My son Gavin is not. He's just 14 months old, so he has absolutely no concept of anything Christmas, who Santa is, what the whole deal is with the elves. He can't even sit on Santa's lap at the mall this year, so that kind of sucks.
Sure.
It's disappointing. Like last year, we didn't do it because he was 2 months old. We don't want Santa, scaring our
right.
our kid or whatever, and now we missed an opportunity, but because we can't do it this year. I imagine Gavin's gonna get an elf watching him at some point. He can get into, right now he can get into a little bit of trouble, so keep him in line.
That's right. Yeah. Well, God bless you for when that happens.
Yeah.
I hope you get a good elf.
I hope
that
so.
Remembers to move himself around and do all the right things.
Get those steps in.
That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So what does Christmas look like in 2020 for you guys?
Zoom calls.
Zoom calls. Okay. Yeah.
No, Christmas this year is going to be pretty quiet. Usually for us, outside of the world being on fire and trying to destroy itself, it's like Christmas Day is a very busy day. So, because we've got quite a large extended family, in the fact that there's all my parents and grandparents, aunties, uncles, and then there's all Lindsay's grandparents and parents and stuff like that, and sister and kids and just family, lots of family. So usually Christmas Day kind of goes along the lines of that my parents tend to come early doors, and we'll have bacon sandwiches and sit around. Lindsay tends to start on the Bucks Fizz quite early Christmas Day, so she'll have a Bucks Fizz with my mum and we'll chat and discuss what we've got and things like that. And then my parents sort of go back to theirs, ready for my brother turning up at their house, and then we'll all get dressed, sorted, and we'll go across to Lindsay's mum's or Lindsay's sisters, because their houses are a bit bigger, so they can house more people. Sure. But yeah, Christmas dinner tends to be 12 adults and maybe 10 kids, something like that, depending on who comes. So
what's it going to look like this year? Are you? Is it just your family?
Yeah, my mum and dad are still coming for breakfast on the morning because they're like our childcare bubble.
Sure.
And then we're having Lindsay's grandparents, who we've kind of been looking after through the whole of this pandemic and stuff. We've been doing their shopping and going in and taking care of them and stuff like that and seeing them on a regular basis. So, and because Lindsay's dad lives quite a distance away and he's in tier 3, he can't travel up. So we've kind of like, we raised his hand and said, well, what we'll do is I'm going to go pick him up sometime Christmas morning and bring him across and have Christmas dinner and watch a couple of, maybe watch a Christmas film, and then I'll drop them back off in the evening. So
cool. What about you, Michael? What's it look like in your?
So usually we have a large amount of Christmas dinners in the span of 3 or 4 days.
Sure.
Which is generally my stress about that, because I get way too full. I eat too much in a few days, and it's not a good sign. But we go to my mom's house, my mom's side of my family, which would be about 6 now people. Then that would be dinner on Christmas Eve. Then we go to church, and I'm not a huge religious person, but I go. I'm what I call a C&E goer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's Christmas and Easter. So I go for Christmas Eve service. Then then we like kind of all go our separate ways. Come back for Christmas Day, where we open most of our presents. In the past, my sister and I, when we were at my mom's, we would sometimes open one present on Christmas Eve just to kind of get a little taste.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably not, I don't know if we're going to do that like in future years. But now, and then we do my dad's side of the family on Boxing Day. And at some point we'd fit in Megan's side of the family, my wife's side of the family. Usually her mom's, and then if her dad kind of has time, her parents are also separated. So her dad's side of the family is a little more last minute kind of planned.
Sure.
Whatever. We get like 3 or 4 dinners basically in the span of a couple weeks.
Sure.
So that's and then, but this year it's going to be all Zoom calls. I think we've loosely scheduled 2 Zoom calls between Megan's side of the family and my mom's side. And my dad is showing up there because he's been showing up to our family Zoom calls, and my paternal grandmother has been showing up to the Zoom calls. So we're probably all going to just have a family Zoom that way. And then that's in the afternoon. Megan's side of the family's in the morning. And I think that's just going to be it. Like we're starting to deliver presents now. Okay. Megan's sister lives in Ottawa, which is about 6 hours away from us. So I dropped presents off at my mom's. Megan's aunt is picking that up from my mom to go to her mom to then drop off some presents that are for them, while they give presents that are for her sister, for Megan's sister. Then the aunt is traveling the mom is traveling to Ottawa and back while collecting presents here and there. It's so confusing.
You're like Santa, man. Your logistics aren't any better than Santa.
It's not much better. If you ever looked at that NATO site, did you ever do that? Look at the NATO site. Yeah. He's bouncing from Russia to Canada to Mongolia to everywhere. He goes. There's no rhyme or reason to his travel plans, and it sounds about the same.
When you're as magical as that guy is, you can get
NATO just can't track him right. It's fine.
That's probably it.
It's on their end.
You need to borrow some reindeer for sure. That's all I gotta say.
100%. My dog is not quite up to snuff.
you have Max is what you have.
I have Max. I have Max basically.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's that whole thing, and we're starting to deliver presents now, and then we're on these Zoom calls. We're basically just going to open up presents, kind of sit on our floor and have open presents that way. For dinner, I'm thinking we might do another YouTuber. I don't know if you've ever watched Binging with Babish.
No.
He's a YouTuber who does cooking stuff, and a lot of the meals he does are from movies or TV shows.
Okay.
So he's tried to recreate Simpsons food or SpongeBob food, and sorry, wife's going to sleep.
I don't blame her. She's like, I was trying to wait up for you, but it's like 2 a.m.
Well, no, she's a teacher, so she's been planning for tomorrow all this time.
Gotcha.
So sometimes she doesn't, she goes to bed like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning, which is unfortunate. Anyway, what was I saying? Zoom calls and dinner. Dinner. So he did a video on like last minute Thanksgiving. Like if you forgot to buy a full turkey, but you want to make everything yourself. He basically did he used a full chicken instead of a turkey, because he's like a 2 or 3 person household, especially in the pandemic. So we might do that and like make stuffing and do some mashed potatoes and stuff like that. Cool. Otherwise, we would have a full turkey at my mom's or my aunt's and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard. I listened to another podcast called Overly Honest Dads, and they've been kind of discussing the same thing, that because it's not so extravagant this year, you're not having as many people, why go to the effort of cooking a full turkey when there's just 3 people? So, yeah, we're just having a chicken. It's perfectly save some turkey for this year, and build me a chair, won't they? Turkey's last.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're the same. Christmas dinner this year, I think we don't often do turkey anyway, because there's not many people in our family that enjoy turkey. So we tend to be. I think we're having beef and ham.
Nice. Yeah, we do prime rib normally for Christmas, which is really nice. My mom makes a pretty mean prime rib. So I don't know that we'll. I think we're all getting together. But we're a pretty small family anyway, so it'll be my mom and Becca's parents and us. My grandmother really wants to come over. Last time my grandmother and my aunt had Thanksgiving by themselves during Thanksgiving. They didn't come over just because we're all pretty worried about. My grandmother is 86 years old, so all pretty nervous about that. But she really wants to come over. And I know I was telling you guys this before we were recording. My wife is a school counselor, and she is quarantined, currently just started because she came in contact with somebody. So she's taking a test to make sure she doesn't have anything. She's currently symptom free, but her quarantine would end on the 23rd, which would pretty much mean that she hasn't been around anybody for 2 weeks, me included. I've been, some people tell me I should quarantine. Some people tell me I don't need to. I don't know. So I have a job that I can work from home for the most part. So I've been doing that. So I don't know, maybe we'll all be able to get together. Maybe not. It's tough stuff, but that's pretty much where we're at. But the pandemic makes it, man, just so hard to make any real, even if you're not making plans, even just like, well, what should we do? Like so often it's like, well, what,
my region and a lot of regions in my province are going into lockdown again. Not lockdown, I guess is the right word. But so we have a colored system, and a lot of regions are going into reds right now. So then the rules are when we get into red, we lock down for, I think it's 30 days, something like that. A few weeks at least. And my region's lockdown is supposed to go away on the 18th, but we're increasing in cases, and other smaller regions that were like not doing too bad are now going into red. So they're now locking down. So our lockdown is probably going to extend way past Christmas, which is unfortunate. And my mom has been like, well, maybe we'll be done and we can meet up. Like, no, we won't, Mom. No.
Well, appreciate that. My son asked this last week. He said, we were talking about New Year's, and he said, so is the pandemic over in 2021? I'm like, oh, buddy, I wish, man. I really do. I just wish I wish that's how it worked out, but I don't think
I love the concept that people have of like, everything, we hit a big reset button on 2021 or the next year. You know, New Year's resolutions are fine, but like the fact that, 80-year-old celebrities aren't going to keep dying, or like the pandemic's going to stop at January 1st. Like, I love that concept and how naive people are.
See, I like the meme of the guy at the beach that's jumping, and he's like, people are saying that represents 2020 being over, and then there's just this dog getting ready to bite him in the nuts. That's 2021. That's it. That is the meme. So I keep saying it to a lot of people as well. They keep going, oh man, 2020, what a year. This year's been so rubbish, and I can't wait for next year. And I'm like, but you're going to start next year in this year. So what's the difference?
Yeah. It's still going to be quarantine. It's not like we're going to be like unlocking all the gates like in prison in those movies. Like, we can't all just go out and escape from prison.
God darn it. I tell you, it is crazy. I will say because I'm with you, Michael, we have a lot of different dinners. Like we have a church dinner normally. We have a family dinner. We have an extended family dinner with my wife's side of the family normally. So there's at least 3, maybe 4 dinners that normally happen. The fact that those aren't happening I'm sad that I don't get to be with the people. I'm not all that sad that I don't have to go through 4 dinners that I don't need to eat. And don't get me wrong. I could have willpower and not like gorge on food 4 times. So that's not completely but I would. It would happen again. It's happened for the last 10 years. It's not going to stop now. So the fact that I don't have to go through that, I don't know, that's kind of nice. And the fact that my wife isn't like stressed about what she's going to bring to each of these dinners.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of less stress this year than in previous Christmases. I'll say that. Added stress in other ways, dealing with pandemic stuff. But for this, it's a little different.
It's crazy though, because all this has done is open everybody's eyes to like there's things that people get stressed about and worried about, and you don't need to. It's like your wife being worried that, what am I going to take to this, and this? It's like, it's a case of you don't have to have that many dinners. We don't. We literally have one dinner. So Christmas Day, we have the one dinner. That's it. Boxing Day is a case of whatever was left over from Christmas Day, you have as a cold buffet. You get what you want. That's it. There's cold meats, a few bits of veg, and like you kind of just make a plate of whatever you fancy. So
yeah, hopefully we stick with that. I doubt we will, but hopefully we like when it's all said and done, whenever this thing finally does go away, we kind of remember that. I doubt we will, but I hope
I don't think my family will.
Yeah, I know. Mine probably won't either. But there were lessons we could learn from this that could really help us, and we probably won't. But
there's a lot of lessons the world could learn from this.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah.
Not to get too like any political or economical. Nobody's going to remember all of this, unfortunately.
It's true. We're just going to go. It's going to be like, what was that Jim Carrey movie where he was in the bubble and like
Truman Show.
Yeah, the Truman Show, and like he busts out, and everybody thinks there's going to be this like big change, and then everybody just like changes the channel, and that's the end of the movie, and that's pretty much it. Everybody's going to be like, all right, we're done. Let me move back.
Sadly.
So that's our dad corner. What do we got for the bulletin board, Sean? Anything?
Well, unfortunately, this week it's been pretty quiet. You shut out the usual, anybody wants to ask any questions, and the only question we got back was from Frosticles, who basically just beat up on the fact that Snowboyz are so difficult to get right. So, and we
as he should have.
Yeah, we covered that pretty extensively in the Isabel morning announcements. So, yeah, there's nothing really to answer, which is quite strange.
I really hope, going back to Animal Crossing, I really hope that Nintendo like looks at what went wrong, went right in this year, and improves for the next year. Like when Bunny Day comes around, hopefully the drop rate won't be so frequent. Maybe they'll improve the Snowboyz for next year. I don't know, like the Turkey Day stuff. Maybe they'll put more of the place settings and such out a little earlier. I don't know. Like I'd like to think they probably won't, but I'd like to think that they will fix like tweak those things for next year.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I would love to see them learn and make some changes. Early on, they did do that. Like with Bunny Day, they changed the drop rates almost immediately. I don't know that they're gonna do that again, but maybe. Here's to hope.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh well, sorry. Didn't mean to disrupt you, Sean.
It's all right. No, it's fine. We like going on tangents on this show. So. But so yeah, there's nothing really to cover. So, but what I will say is that we'd like to thank all the Patreon members that are out there for the Nintendo Dads on the Discord. And if you're not on the Discord and you like to listen to the Nintendo Dads, I'd seriously consider getting part of this. There's loads of us on the Discord.
So glad I joined.
It's the only one I ever joined, so I kind of like speaking from personal experience. I went from never having Discord, knowing about anything, to being part of the Nintendo Dads.
It's so funny. The one that this is the only one that I'm part of that I pay money to, and it's really the only one that I actually pay attention to. Like I'm in, I want to say 5 or 6 different servers. And other than a little bit of Disney, like on Drew's Disney Discord, I pay attention, and not a lot happens on there. But like, I'm on a Star Wars one, I'm on a Transformers one, I'm on this one, and I'm on a few others. And this is really the only one that I pay attention to. And like actively, like, okay, what's going on in this Discord? Let's check all. I can see unread notifications in all these channels. Let's look through them, even if I don't give rat's butt about like Cyberpunk. I'm going to see what someone's saying about Cyberpunk.
Sure. I tried another one. I tried to do multiple Discord servers. I just really like my brain is just an overload. I can't keep up with them. So I just was like, all right, I got to focus on I'm going to choose this one, and that's going to be it. That's all I got.
Yeah. So basically we took this opportunity to say how really good this community is. So, and
the dads aren't paying us for it.
No.
No.
We don't get commission for this, so we don't receive any royalties for saying how great they are on this podcast or any podcast that mentions the Nintendo Dads. But yeah, so
yeah, and if Dads After Dark are getting a commission, then I want a commission too. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So if that's not a true statement, however I'm pointing, if that's not a true statement, then dang it, I want my commission too. Sean and I want our commission.
Let's get an amendment in the Nintendo Dad's Constitution.
But yeah, it's literally so, and it doesn't cost anything to be part of that. I think literally the first tier is $1 a month, and that gets you access to the Discord community. Little bits of like Patreon polls, and sometimes they drop like little gifts of different digital artwork and stuff on Patreon. So all that is over there for $1 a month at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can possibly say about that, but it's brought. The community's brought me, Nick, and Dan together this year as good friends, and through this podcast, and we have like likes of Michael, Jason Frosticles, made a really good connection with him this year.
Chad has been killing it.
Yeah.
So
FYI to those who listen, Chad will be on our next cast, which I believe is still in this year. I think. I don't know. Maybe not.
29th. something like that, I think.
I'm looking real quick. I'm trying. Oh, my birthday. Yes, 29th. You look at you,
Yeah,
rock it out. Do
25th
the
is a
math.
Friday, so that makes
14
sense.
plus 15. Look at you. That's way better than me. I was like, I'm done. Anyways.
So all that's left to discuss is a gaming topic, which we kind of just opened up to anything and everything of what's on our Christmas list this year.
Yeah. What is on our Christmas list this year?
That's a difficult one, and it's hard every year for me because literally, like, my birthday is Thursday this week, and then 8 days later it's Christmas. So it's kind of like people go, "Oh, what do you want for your birthday?" And it's like, well, I don't really know. It's kind of, I over the years I've just got used to building our wish list. At the beginning of December, it's like, this is all the stuff that I wanted to buy myself through the year that I thought, I'd really like it, but that money can be given to like put towards something for the kids and stuff. So I kind of build a wish list. And this year it's like I quite got into walking. Obviously, I was doing the big running thing. I kind of got myself
so many miles.
Yeah, it kind of got myself injured. I pulled my calf really bad. Stopped running.
Oh, really?
But started walking. So like I've asked for some proper walking shoes or walking boots because I'm sick of getting wet feet.
Yeah.
So there's that. A couple of bits in like new gym gear because like mine's all starting to get either out like torn, ripped, dated. But then other things I've asked for more gaming related is I've actually asked for a Nintendo Pro controller because I never picked one up. I've got
really,
Same.
Yeah, never.
Same.
Never got one.
I never had one.
I've got 2 sets of Joy-Cons and I've got the 8-bit Do SNES, the European controller, so the coloured buttons, not the grayscale buttons. I've got one of those, but never got a Pro controller.
Y'all need a Pro controller. It'll change your Switch life. I mean, I don't know how much you play docked, but man, when you play docked, I don't know. The Pro controller is money. That thing is so nice.
I've been rocking the grip this whole time, and
wow.
I don't know. I've never had a Pro controller for any system. I've always like I used the Wii remote and the nunchuck. I used the gamepad. I used the Joy-Cons. And even though like I do need to get a Pro controller at some point because my gray set of Joy-Cons, I got the single, like not single pack, the separate gray Joy-Cons. And the battery on them sucks. When I charge my Switch fully up in the dock, my gray Joy-Cons don't go past 75% probably. And my red Joy-Cons, because I got the Mario Odyssey bundle, so I got the red Joy-Cons. They're super drift heavy. So I have half and half going on right now. But yeah, I should probably get a Pro controller at some point. Just to have another option.
Yeah, I just really like it. I think they're really good. I think the Pro controller is really good. But that's just me.
Yeah, I used to make a list every year. Like I would my birthday is about 6 months away from Christmas. So I almost not quite immediately after Christmas, like I would literally change the document name from Michael Christmas list to Michael birthday list.
That's awesome.
Then 6 months later I would switch it over because 90% of what I put on that list doesn't get bought.
Sure.
And I used to be an active like action figure collector.
Oh, okay.
So I would say, yeah, I want this Marvel Legends and this Transformer and this whatever. And my mom quickly learned like not to buy me anything toy related because I would either buy it myself or like she would get the wrong thing. That it was like, no, I didn't want Megatron. I wanted Optimus Prime. Come on, Mom, come on. So she quickly learned not to get me any of that stuff. And then like standard clothes would be on the list and money because that always fits. And so haven't written a list in like maybe a couple of years. I've started an Amazon wish list, but I haven't really like, necessarily given that to her. So like, because it's again full of action figures. Gaming wise, like it's kind of the same thing. She doesn't really know what to get me because I guess she assumes that I get it all myself. But I don't have a lot of games compared to like the dads who get codes and they buy themselves stuff because they have maybe they have the money to do that. I had to negotiate to get Age of Calamity with the wife. I'm like, well, I'm gonna play it. Like I really want to play it, and so like, yeah, okay, and I almost had to wait to get it until after Christmas or like that. But and now I'm waiting till maybe after Christmas to get Cyberpunk. We'll see. Who knows? So like a lot of negotiation has to happen for me to get something like that, or a lot of saving on my end or whatever. So gaming wise on my Christmas list, there isn't really a lot because there isn't really a Christmas list, unfortunately.
Sure.
See, what I do every month is some people like they call it a slush fund over here. It's what guys in the UK can kind of like tend to sneak back a little bit of the paycheck every month to kind of like pay for like going out for drinks and stuff like that. I have a gaming fund. So like I literally put £20 a month to one side in a separate account. And that kind of builds up over the year. And then if I want a game, I kind of like, right, okay, cool. I've got £200 to one side that I've saved over the year. And if it gets to the end of the year and it's like I've still got quite a bit left in there, I tend to I take it out and that kind of I'll give it to the wife at Christmas and say, this is the money I've put aside for Christmas for like gaming through the year. And so, but there hasn't been anything, and Christmas has been, and people have got me the things that I wanted. So, let's go out and we'll have a meal. And it doesn't normally get to the £200 mark because there's always games that I want to buy. But.
Right. Yeah.
I have that system in place. I'm just terrible with implementing it. Like I got my wife got me a little like piggy bank for like taking that $20 out of my checking account into cash and then like having it physically to see. I just never get around to taking that money out, like taking the cash out of the ATM, putting it in and it always just like goes to Tim's because I'm Canadian. I have to drink. It's half of my blood. So it just goes to like breakfast in the morning, heading to work, or on my break, like I could use a caffeine break, so I'll go get a large tea or something like that. So that's where my $20 a paycheck goes. Sadly, I'm really terrible. I really should claw that back, but that's me.
Hey, you're in your resolutions.
Yeah, there you go. There's a resolution.
I ask for cash most of the time, and people hate that, but it's like, as a Nintendo guy, like right now, and we have the same thing. My wife and I both get a certain amount of money every month that we put back. And so that, and then like birthdays, I'm always kind of like, you can give me Nintendo eShop cards or cash, whichever. It all kind of helps me out, pad the budget. And I mean, so like there's a Pro coming out, right? And so like we know the rumor is there's a Pro more than likely coming out probably in March. And so I'm looking at this going, I kind of drained my reserves buying the Series S. Like, I mean, it took forever for me to get that. So now like, what do I need for Christmas? I need cash because more than likely I'm going to have another console I want to buy in March. So it's like, so that's kind of, and people hate it because they're like, well, it's not, we don't want to just get your cash. We want to get you this. I was like, but that's what I want. There's nothing I really want right now. Like I have bought the games that I want. There's nothing on the horizon for me to ask for. So I just need money for whatever Nintendo's about to put out that they're going to take from my wallet. So
whatever they have coming out March 31st. Yeah. Whatever it is, you've got the money for it.
Yeah, that's what I want to make sure is there. I don't want, because otherwise you're right. I have to do this like negotiation thing and I'm probably going to lose out somehow. So even if I can get the wife to agree with it, what am I going to have to give up to get the wife to say yes? So it's like, I'd rather just have the money on hand. It's so funny, the dad life. You just kind of like, what do we got to do to get this crazy stuff? Anyways, Nintendo steals my money. But I really don't have anything on the Christmas list right now. That I can really think of. Immortals was gonna be on that Christmas list.
You bought it.
But yeah. Actually, I won't lie. I got really lucky. I review games for Nintendo Dads, and I was given a code for Immortals from the Nintendo Dads. That is the coolest code I've ever received. So big thanks to Ubisoft for giving us multiple codes so that I could get one and do some reviews for them.
That's pretty cool.
And so looping back a little bit, for that $1 a month, I'm going to keep saying it, but for that $1 a month and access to Discord, if you do YouTube and you do reviews for games and things like that, the Nintendo Dads are always screaming out for help, especially this time of year when they get inundated with codes. Obviously, they're busy with family and stuff like that. They do reach out to the community and ask if anybody is interested to do reviews, be it written, video, audio. They love it. And I used to do a couple of them, but not being able to commit and not having the tech that's as good as I wanted it to be able to do it, I kind of stopped. But yeah. And you could end up like Nick, dropping on really good with a fantastic. I'm so jealous.
I was shocked when I DM Justin, was like, listen, I really think this game's cool. I will review it. Like, I plan to buy it. And he was like, well, hold on. Maybe we might have something for you. So yeah. So that was by far the coolest code I've ever gotten. But
that's pretty great.
So that's what's on our Christmas list. Anybody else have anything else?
No.
Okay, before go ahead.
Other than being really excited for like the kids' Christmas presents, so like obviously Emily's getting like bikini bottom rehydrated. We've got Jay a really cool new like Polaroid style camera, which will be fun to kind of. So I'm excited for the kids' toys as well.
Always excited for the kids' toys to see them open them and to play with them when they're playing with them.
I'm looking forward to seeing Gavin just attempt to rip open the presents and whatever. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fun. Like he's not gonna have any concept of like, oh, this was from Santa, this was from Grandma, this was from Dad, this was from whatever. Mm-hmm. But like just try to plop him in front of us and like say, have at it. It's gonna be
super fun. It'll be super fun. It's awesome. Okay, before you send us out, Sean, I want to do a mea culpa here. We ran an event in October, which was 2 months ago. To be fair, the event didn't end until the first week in November, but it's been a month. Life got busy. Life got crazy. We had 3 members of our community submit photos, and we were supposed to do a voting system, and we didn't. And those 3 people were Simple Monk, Hey It's Chad, and our guest here, Michael PJP, Mancher PJP, and we just didn't do it. And so because of that, we have reached out to all of them already and said, hey, we're really sorry. We really appreciate you in our community. And we will be sending you all a $10 eShop card or code for $10 just to say thanks and sorry we didn't follow through with everything we said we would. Because we appreciate you guys, and we're sorry that we didn't do what we said we would do, and that's not cool.
There's part of life getting in the way, and we kind of sat there and hoped that people would still carry on submitting, that we'd have a few more different ones, but
yeah, so it's not cool that we didn't do that, and so we definitely want to honor our word and get that done, because we want other contests we want to do, and we want people to still submit and think that, and know that we'll follow through with what we say we're going to do. So we will be getting that out to them. They've all been, the 3 of them have already been, we've reached out to them, kind of told them what was going on, but we just kind of wanted to tell the community at large what had happened, and that we did take care of these guys because, that's what good people do. So,
and I don't want to speak for Simple Monk or hey, it's Chad, but I really appreciate you like owning up and just saying, you know what, we done screwed up, and we're gonna make it up to you, and going forward, it's gonna be better.
Mm-hmm.
And
so.
I appreciate you guys, reaching out to us and saying, you know what, that happened.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And we are really sorry. And I was just like, we really did drop the ball there. So
honestly, I like you were saying, stuff came up and you forgot. I completely forgot. You could have breezed right past and not said anything and like, whatever.
Yeah, no, and that's not the right thing to do. Again, we want to do this. We want to do this again, hopefully, for if it's not Animal Crossing, for something. And so we want you guys to know that we'll follow through with what we say we do. So with that mea culpa said, why don't you send us out, Mr. Sean?
Okay. So as always, Dad Crossing is part of the Nintendo Dad's family of podcasts, which I've kind of harped on quite a lot about this evening. You can find new Nintendo Dad content wherever podcasts are found. If you have any questions or comments and you want to reach out to us, you can get us on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Everything is at Ender Crossing. We want to give the Nintendo Dads a big thanks as always for allowing us to come make this content and have our guests on from the community. So from Nick, our awesome guest Michael, and myself, Sean, we hope your village is snowy and your villagers are happy. Stay safe.
See you later, guys.
Laters.
Now we'll go back.